right, welcome back to Hollywood Dreammaker. I am super excited about my next guest, Brian Goodman. He's a very talented actor, writer, producer, director. I mean, this guy, you name it, he's done it. You may know him from Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, Catch Me If You Can. He was a series regular on Rizzoli and Isles. He directed and written the film Black Butterfly. He's written and directed a film called What Doesn't Kill You with Mark Ruffalo and Ethan Hawke. Welcome, Brian. Welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
Hey, Billy. It's good to see you, man. It really is. It's been a bit.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it sure has.
So how is life treating you during these crazy times we're living in these days, you know, with all the stuff that's going on in the world? How you holding up? Where are you?
Well, right now in Los Angeles, my place over here. And, right now it's okay, right? It's minute by minute with these challenging times, right? Feel a little stagnant. It's like Groundhog Day. And, just trying to keep the mind right, keep the mind quiet, and show up. The kids are healthy, family's good. All the important stuff's intact. Yeah, thank God. Right.
Do you have 2 kids?
2 sons, yeah. 38 is the oldest, my Brian.
Wow.
Yeah, 32, my youngest. 4 grandkids. Wow, can you believe it, Billy? Me and you were kids yesterday. We're talking grandkids.
Time flies, brother.
Yeah, it sure does.
I was trying to think back, how long ago did we meet? And I think we met in acting class.
That's right.
Yeah,
we were studying back then. That's right.
I don't know. That must have been like 30 years ago, 20.
Yeah, it was at least, because when I come out, I get at this a little later. You were already in the game here, and I get out here around 2000 with no agent, no nothing, nowhere. But I found a class that I just liked.
That's right, Candace Silver's.
That's right, yeah. I liked her take on it, bringing real human behaviors, because everybody should believe that their coach and who they're studying what's the best, right? And so I was auditing like one of my first, and she said something about bringing real human behavior to a scene, and that was just enough for me to hear. It wasn't nothing profound, it wasn't just too much, but that caught my attention, so I gone there. And then you showed up there, and I was drawn to you, just the realism of it. And we connected right there, and we'd chat and talk, and then we're in the path of the pursuit, right? And then now here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing. I had been in the game. I came out to Hollywood with $200 in my pocket when I was 18 with a one-way ticket, with this dream. And I've been blessed, and I've been living the dream. But I was truly I was working, I was living the dream.
Yeah.
And when I saw guys like you came into the game, you were new on the block, but there was something about you, like you said, there was something real. It was like, wow, this guy is really interesting. He's real. There were a lot of actors acting, but I remember when I got a chance. I mean, we did a scene. I forget. It was I think it was from it was the Pacino De Niro thing.
Right. That's right.
Like
Yeah, exactly. That's what we did. Why not? Got to take a shot at that material, even though, right? Why not? They're not going to cast me and you as Forrest Gump, so we might as well do that. But that was fun. Those were good times.
Yeah, good times, man. But I wanted to have you on the show because I truly believe that your journey. I created the show because it's about the dream. The Hollywood dream. There's so many people that come out and they have this dream, and you did it. You came out. And
you know what I think would be important to say, Billy, is that we just text and connected, and we started a chat, right? Because this isn't no pre-planned out, because I don't know much about podcasts. I've never done. My first one is an honor to be on. And you said, hey, why don't we just talk now? So here we are.
I'll tell the story. Yeah. I'm not a social media person. I'm not on Facebook.
Right.
I don't do a lot of that stuff. I got to stop saying that because I am now. But in the past, I was I'm a private guy. I don't want you to, I'm private.
Yeah.
But in order to do what I want to do, to be able to touch as many lives as possible, I can't be private. I have to be able to share myself socially online and stuff like that. So I'm new to Facebook or whatever. But today you popped up on my Facebook feed, and then it's you playing golf with Sam Jackson.
Yeah, my spiritual advisor.
And I see you and I go, oh my gosh, Brian would be the best guest on the show, right?
That's
that was
humbling. Thank you.
Immediately I said, Brian's got to be on the show. And I texted you, I sent you a little message, whatever, you returned it immediately. And I said, you know, give me a number. And we talked for about 5 minutes. And I said, hey, let's do one right now. And you were cool enough. Yeah, let's do it. So here we are.
Imagine.
Yeah.
You look great, man. You look good. It's been a minute. You look good.
Yeah, you too, brother, man. It's been a while, man, but you look great. And
you know what I do instead of go to the gym? I tell people I'm 79 years old. So they say you look good for 79. It can backfire though, because if they believe it, that's scary, right?
Hey, so I would love to go back to the beginning, to the journey, 2000, right? I know you like me, and you probably more than me, I dabbled in my juvenile delinquent years running around Brooklyn and, wanting to be a half a wise guy and doing stupid shit, excuse my French, but it took an event when I was 16. I saw one of the guys that I looked up to in my neighborhood. My old man wasn't around, so growing up on the streets, I looked up to guys in the neighborhood. The guys that had the money and the flash and the suits and the and the Cadillacs, and they could get me into clubs, and it was living that life. Running around, and it was really, I was going down that path, and I thought that was the path for me. I wanted to be that, have that life. And then I saw my best friend, the guy that I looked up to, get shot in the head in front of me. He got shot, and it changed my life right there. When I saw him laying on that ground, with a pool of blood around him, I knew this is the guy I wanted to be. I didn't want to end up like him. So it shifted everything for me, and I had to get out of Brooklyn.
I mean, when you just said earlier, that you come out with the, not knowing back then, but now looking back with the courage it took to pursue something at 18 years old and go across country, and being motivated by something like that, witnessing something like that does really happen where we're from, and
where are you from?
I'm from South Boston, which is like a 2 square mile section of Boston, predominantly Irish. And it's like, you're a product of your own environment. You know what I mean? If I grew up in like a fishing port, I'd probably be a fisherman, but in South Boston, don't get me wrong, it was a middle class, blue collar, a lot of work, but there was a lot of, dysfunction and alcoholism and just, crime. It's an inner city story, just like, many. I got stuck, in the streets, 12 years old. And, it's kind of cute when you see that in the film, but when you have nowhere to brush your teeth and you're hungry, you're going to do what you have to do. And you just start to gravitate to survival. And then you start to do well in that if it's made for you. And then there's a few bucks involved. And then you start to live every day like it's your last. And there's other people out there grinding and surviving too. So violence kicks in. And and then you're rolling for a while thinking you're a big shot in your own mind, and then things were clicking on all cylinders, having fun, nightclubs, music, drinking, and I have no anonymity behind them, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, for 25 years. And there was a lot of good times before that kicked in, and so it's kind of disguises all the nonsense that goes with it. And I was going too fast, too hard. And then there was an incident, well, I don't know if I've been shot a few times. You get older, you get sick of your own story, but here we are, we're talking about the podcast.
People, nobody's heard your story. So, you may think of your story, but, there's a lot of people that need to hear your story. The fact that you got shot a few times. How many times did you get shot?
4.
4 times.
But I got, what, I want to change the narrative of that because, there's a lot of guys for some reason. It's very misleading because you're right. We're here to try to influence kids and dreams, and not that they have the same background or story, but some guys announce that. And I noticed that in the world today, that announce that as like some type of, valid, like some
Badge
honor
of
or
honor.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, and like, you know, as I do coming from you from like there's something that was like, I remember I used to hear my dad say, you know, people up there in Boston, sometimes they're more impressed if you go to Walpole State Prison instead of Harvard University. And it's like sad, but it was kind of true. It wasn't like he was wrong because there was like this like little, you know, we're all starving for some type of like identity, right? And if you catch a niche the way you can be like, you know, aggressive and survive in that world, you start to believe that that's because we're so thirsty for it. You start to believe that that's what it's supposed to be, you know. And you know, and I'm not a victim when I got shot. You know, I was aggressive and violent, and I would have shot me too if I was coming the way because I was a very angry guy, very angry kid, and very aggressive. So you know. Stabbed a few times, all because of the game I was playing it. You know, it was a street game, you know, and I had a couple uncles that were killed in that world. And that was like, I remember being in their club down, they called it the Mullins Club. And, you know, that was like you see the enticement of it, and it looks and feels good at the time. And then what happened, there was an incident where my sister was involved in a situation, and I got a call on like a New Year's Eve of '88, and she was in like a dysfunctional relationship. And my reaction to that was put me in prison from '89 to '94. And I didn't wake up there saying, "Oh my God, what am I doing here?" That was, you know, I'm no hero. I come from dysfunction. I'm not saying, you know, that, you know, she does whatever that happened. I'm just saying my reaction to the call I got was violence. And when I was there, I didn't say to myself, "Oh my God, how did I end up here?" I knew I was there for other things too. You know, no debts go unpaid, I believe. You know, in prison, there's another narrative that I'd like to change because it's only my opinion. You know, when I come out the first day, Walpole State Prison is like a maximum security. And when I come out of my cell, I know how to behave. Like, you know, I'm not going to run from violence, but I know how to. When I come out of my cell, I could smell the violence. And I had to go back in my cell and retie my shoes because I could, oh, wait a second, there's danger in here. You know why? Because it's all filled with fear, people hiding from life. You know what I mean? I remember why, and the only thing that ever scared me in there was when I'd be talking to some guys, and when I get out, I'm going to do this, but they don't really mean it because nobody has it's easy to do time. You know, it's like, nobody has a nicer car. There's no ego involved with materialistic things. You have 3 T-shirts and $20 in canteen. You're doing as good as anybody in that world. So there's none of that go get. And it's kind of like, you know, scary to see that a lot of people, they won't say it out loud, get comfortable there, you know? And to me, it was just a timeout. Because you remember when you were a kid and you get put on a timeout in the crib? Right? Now it's the bars in the crib go to the ceiling. They take out the rattles out of the sandbox and they put weights in. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of aggressive, violent guys there. But other than that, it's that infantile ego that we get stuck with. And next thing you know, we're just sitting around, walking around like playing handball, you know, and the mother of my 2 kids was doing both of our jobs. Well, I'm in there, you know. Well, look at it. It was an intervention. It saved my life because I haven't been back, you know. And I went to my first AA meeting in there just to get out of the block, just to get out of my cell. And, you know, I've always been curious, but I've always wanted to act since I was a little kid. But you couldn't. It was different in New York. There was more arts, you know, a little more welcoming for artists. And in Boston, if you said you wanted to be an actor back then, it's like saying you want to wear tights and dance around. It wasn't no encouragement. Plus, I was stuck in the streets, so I wasn't going anywhere. So the funny thing is, it's like, you know, I'm in there like, wow, okay, man, this is crazy. Like, you know, I could get stuck here, you know, and I was kind of relieved that I wasn't there as long as maybe I should have been, or as long as most guys were there, you know. So it was 4 years, 10 months. It was like a good time out for me to take a good look at myself. And I had no idea what I would do. And like I said, those violence incidents that I was in earlier, I didn't think I was going to see, you know, 21 and then 25, never mind. Okay, now I'm walking out of there at 31 with everything I owned in a green bag. It was a little scary, man.
Okay, so cut to you're 31 years old.
Yeah.
You're walking out of a maximum security prison after doing almost 5 years with your little green bag.
Yeah.
Where does the acting dream?
Well, how about this? Even more importantly, though, walking out of there with the shame and guilt is a failure as a father. You know, because so that was his thing in the bag was that. You know what I mean? So look at it. If we're being honest here, you know, the first 3 years I was sober, I was robbing drug dealers at gunpoint. I got right back into that world because I thought I'm going to be a hero by making some money and pay the bills, because I was filled with so much shame of, like, you know, my wife carrying the load that I went out there moving, you know, and trying to, you know, and then I finally realized, oh, wow, this isn't filling that hole in my soul. The cash wasn't working, you know, and it got, you know, it was a lot of interventions, you know, not to get too spiritual or godlike, but the truth is, this kid came in this cafe one time, and I'll never forget it. This guy, Leo Rowe, a good guy. He was always excited to see me, excited to see him, and, you know, he came in. He had no idea I had a childhood dream of being an actor, you know. And he came in one day into this cafe, and I was kind of in a grumpy mood or something, but I could see he was, you know, and he said, "Hey, Brian, they're doing this local film. You should go to audition." He had no idea, and I took the number. Yeah. Like, pretending I didn't really, you know. In the first 3 auditions I went on, while I was on parole, you know, I got these speaking parts. They weren't like breakout role, but it was like a sign, because oh, okay, maybe I can't, you know.
So what was that first film? Was it Southie?
Yeah, and yes, that was the first one with Jimmy Cummings and
Yeah, I
Donnie
know Jimmy.
Wahlberg. Yeah.
I know Jimmy
Yeah.
Cummings. I remember when
Yeah.
Jimmy Cummings came out to, with my friend Robert Sullivan. They both came out from Boston to come out to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
hanging out at
Yes.
my place, trying to show him the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys were out here and at it. He was the first one I met, like, on an audition. Because, like, it was funny thing is, the lady, when I called the number, she started saying, "Oh, wow, I love the accent, you know, the Boston, all that." And so then when I go the next day, like, talk about the ego, it's funny. She hands me the page. "Oh, this is the guy." Well, he doesn't say anything. You told me you like the accent. And then Jimmy Cummings come in with the director, John Shea. They set up this improv type of audition thing where, you know, the glove fit. It was kind of a street guy, so it wasn't big, but still, to act, people think, oh, you're just being yourself. It's not as easy when cameras are rolling and there's people quiet, you know, to not get caught pretending was the challenge, right? And they set up this improv scene, and they gave me the part. I was going to Atlantic City, even though I wasn't supposed to leave the state, to see a Pernell Whitaker fight. And I got a call that I got it. And then fast forward, Martin Sheen and Ted Demme and them came to town to do this Monument Ave. And I got a piece of that, which was a fun part, great time.
So you got your Taft Hartley, you got your SAG card on
yeah.
South.
Right away. Thank God, because look, here's the truth, Billy. And to this day, there isn't a role, and I'm not trying to be too humble or sell myself short, but there isn't a role I've done somebody else could do. So thank God a couple things came my way to give me a sign, because I was heading on wasn't on a good road, man. It was like, you know, guy once said to me, you travel down the same road, you end up in the same place. So, you know, the things that I was up to probably wasn't going to end good, but here we are.
You know? Yeah. Well, it ended good.
Yeah, we're on our feet. We're still here. I'm playing with house money, 56 years old. What?
Yeah. So, you know, you live in the dream, man. I mean, you know, really, that's the dream. So let's go back a little bit. So now, what year? So you did Southie or what? What was that?
97.
97.
97.
So now you're booking a little role here, a little small role, whatever, and then you decide to make the move to Hollywood, right?
Yes. Yeah,
So,
I come out here one time. I come out here with my golf clubs right when I was just about off parole, and I shouldn't have been, but I came anyway. And I like the weather, the palm trees. I went down to New York to do a little looping on the movie I was in, and I said, oh, wow, it has the same feel. And I didn't know what would happen out here, Bill. I didn't come out here to be a star. I just felt, honestly, I felt I was employable as a character actor, but I didn't know if it would work out. But I needed a break from, you know, and I had accumulated a few bucks from that stuff I was doing with robbing the drug deals. So I didn't have to come out here with that type of pressure. Got a small place in Studio City. I love the palm trees, and I like to golf a little bit. So it was like, okay, this is nice.
You know? So that's when we met. It was
it was like within a year or two. It was probably 2002 or 2001 and 2 where you and I had met. Yeah,
I remember that vividly in class.
Yeah, me too.
And we just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
Neighborhood guy.
I remember when you showed up right away. I felt, it's funny because, you ever do those panels like you're doing a job and you're doing a film and actors, they're on there and they're like trying to see who can stick their head up each other's ass further. This isn't what's happening right now. I really did like you right away. If we could, we had that common bond, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just humbling to see that we're both still here standing, right? And it's
So
good.
I got to tell you, I am truly impressed with your work. Your body of work that you've accomplished, the films you've directed. I mean, I remember seeing What Doesn't Kill You, right? That was the title, but What Doesn't Kill You, that you directed, and that you wrote that, and it was based on your life story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mark Ruffalo played me, and Ethan Hawke played my friend who is now in Lewisburg doing 100 years.
Wow.
And I'm here with you. Yeah. I mean, thank God. I literally pulled out pen and paper. It's the old school way to write him a letter today. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If whoever's
all behind one choice for any young person who might see, all behind one choice that I decided, thank God, because the pain in my kid's eyes made me decide to not do what we were going to do. And he went through with it. And I'm here with you. And he's there.
That's what it's all about. I mean, even in the craft, it's all about choices.
Yes.
It's about making those choices. You can choose to go this way. You can choose to go that way. He chose to go this way. And, he chose to go that way. And that's why he's doing 100 years. And me and you are here right now.
Yeah.
So, but, you're such a talented director. And if the audience hasn't seen What Doesn't Kill You, you definitely want to watch this film. I have not seen Black Butterfly. Who's in that?
Black Butterfly, that's an interesting for any young filmmakers or anything. Because I'm still, to the day I die, I want to learn and grow. I think What Doesn't Kill You is a pretty good film, and I'm not trying to be too humble. I thought the story was pretty good. So, to make a film is not easy. Nobody sets out, let's go make a bad film, right? Nobody says, hey, let's put $5 million together and go make a bad film. But they're not easy to do, so it happens, right? But Black Butterfly was interesting because. We had talked about something earlier that you went through with, some that I'll let you say, but I almost lost my son about 8 years ago. And it threw me in a bad, dark place, and I was unable to make meetings. And, my career is never in a position where I could just I just couldn't move and function, and it just got really dark and no desire. So then Black Butterfly, years later, I got a little bit of juice. And so this guy was ready to shoot something on my phone, I mean, not to pay the bills with it, but just something to inspire. And so Black Butterfly, I did it with Antonio Banderas and a beautiful guy, and Jonathan Rhys Meyers, a beautiful Irish.
Good actors.
Yeah, it was a suspense thriller, a different genre. But here's the thing, and this is, I like the film. But we went over to Italy to make it because of tax incentives. And it was a beautiful nightmare because 80% of the crew didn't speak a word of English, right? And I'm on my second film trying to learn how to make a film and trying to block a scene. You look up and they're looking at me like, don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So, but thank God I had this first AD who's a third generation. It worked out. We got to the finish line, and these are excuses, but we got to the finish line.
A good first AD.
Oh my God. Translate. And then they call me Brian, you pazzo, because I'd lose my temper sometimes when I get in fear. Not at anybody indirectly, which was good. I'd have a couple of moments over here, and I said, look, I just care about the film. I know we're not curing cancer here, but I'm trying to do the best I can. And we're up against pressure in 20 days to make the movie, and just like, fear. Yeah. So it was good, man. It was a good experience.
So, we were in class together, and then you had a series called In the Line of Fire, right?
Yeah.
And I got cast on In the Line of Fire, and I show up and I play a wise guy who's paying $1 million to have somebody's tongue cut out of their mouth, stuff like that. and and then there we are on the set, man. That was cool, you know.
Oh, please, man.
Like,
Those moments you got to cherish them, because now we reflect and like, oh my God. But I tell you one thing that I remember vividly, that like we enjoyed it when you came, like just to be there. We knew that, you know, because it's odds that, you know, you're a employable guy. I'm an employable guy. Let's see if it happens, right? But when we land on the same spot together, we know, okay, this is like long shot shit. Not that we shouldn't be working together and it might not happen 10 times, but when it does, we know as actors that we're grateful to be there, and now we're playing with, you know,
yeah.
Right?
Listen, during my career, I'm just so grateful. Like, you know, I had to pinch myself. You know, it's funny. Like, you know, I'm watching this video, you and Sam Jackson playing golf, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I remember I was doing Who's the Boss with Tony Danza.
Yeah.
And you know, we had doing a sitcom. It was fun. It was easy. You know, we were in there for a few hours. We rehearsed whatever. Then we go play golf. We go to Whitsett. We play some golf.
Yeah.
So I remember playing golf, and we show up to to play some golf, and Sylvester Stallone's, you know, there, and he joins us, and here I am, I'm playing golf with Rocky. You know, I grew up watching. Inspired me, you know. Yeah, I got Tony Bantha and Rocky, guys that I grew up with, and here I'm playing golf with them.
Yeah,
you know, so to see you playing golf with Sam Jackson was awesome. I was like, it just put such a smile on my face.
Well, Sam's a solid dude. I mean, he's a good actor, but even more importantly, like when I was going through some things with my sons, like, you know, he'd get on the phone with them while we're out there. Come on, guy. They were going through some addiction problem, you know, and he would get on the phone right with them. Hey, come on, guy. You can pull out, you know, just with some words of encouragement, and just, you know what I mean? Some people think that, you know, celebrity and movie star shit is like something that validates something, but he's a good man.
You know, that's
good actor, great actor, but I mean, good actor, but great man.
And you know, cool. Listen, I've been in the game a long time, and I've worked with a lot of actors, A-list actors, you know, I've been all the way around, and you know, it's rare when you find those stand-up guys, the real good guys that haven't let the fame go to their heads. You know, like truly, you know, they're just you know, it's a job. You know, it's not.
Yes.
It doesn't make them any better than anybody else. You know, I've worked with actors that they think they're, you know, their shit don't stink because they're the, you know, number one on the cast list. You know. And that's, you know, when you find real people, you know, like you know, stand-up people in this business. That's why, you know, you hold on to them. It's a rarity.
Yeah, it is a rarity, and it's not like a judgment of them, because you know, we all have egos and we get a little inflated here and there with the littlest of things. But it doesn't taste. If I'm not striving to be a humble man, right? This isn't because I want more people to show up at my wake. It's because it makes me more comfortable in life that I strive to be humble. And I'm talking about in everyday life. I mean, it's film. It's something that was very helpful as a lost kid, where I'd sneak into movies and see these movies. So I know it's important that, you know, films are being made and everything, but it's kind of like a childlike profession, right? We go from playing cowboys and Indians to like, now we want to get paid for it. And so once people start getting paid more than they ever thought, it becomes this kind of like badge of honor, and it's like, oh, nonsense to me. I don't know. If you're a good guy or a good woman or a good guy, you know, that's more important, right?
Yeah, listen, for me, it's, you know, I have my school, the Manhattan Actors Studio here, and you know, for me, I teach my actors, it's, you know, it's playtime, it's Halloween, man. You know, you got to stay in play. You gotta, you know, take a piece of your soul and hand it over in the character, but you know, put on the wardrobe, put on the clothes, you know, playtime, you know, especially in an audition scenario, when you go into that room, go play. Go have fun, because when you're having fun, I'm having fun watching you as the casting director. If you're in fear or in your head, or what, I hope they like me, whatever, you shoot yourself in the foot before walking in the door. You know, so it's really about playtime.
Yes, why not?
Yeah, you know,
why not?
And playing full out, you know, 150%, you know, because you got one shot in that room. Why not go full out? I mean, like, you know, move 3,000 miles to come to Hollywood. You give up your family, your friends, everything to pursue a dream, and then when you're going to go in a room and give 50%?
No, you know, if you're here, you might as well be all in. You
You got to be all in and play full out. And then, use, what you got, your star power. I mean, everything that's ever happened to you, that whole history, your backstory, everything that you went through doing 5 years in prison, everything is your goal as an actor. That's what makes you unique. That's your star power, And if you can really bring that, I mean, I truly believe that's why you made you castable, is because you were real and you had all this good stuff. You didn't have to act. You could just be real. You could play that guy and you were just real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what attracted me to you when I saw you act, man. I was like, wow, that guy's real.
Well, thank you, Billy. It's nice to hear, man. I
More
appreciate
acting,
that. Yeah. And even as to add to that, but to learn and grow just as a human being in this thing, and to be able to sometimes get into a, like, and I don't mean it in a demeaning way when I say childlike profession, but it's fun is what I mean. When you're in the game and it's working, there's a lot of mud to trudge through because there's a lot of bullshit. It's Hollywood, but it's fun, childlike fun. Like when you finally do get to play. I remember just like the irony. I told you when I first get out, I started to, nail those drug dealers for money, right? And so one of the first jobs I got on that series you mentioned, I had one day, and I was a regular on the show, but I had one day in this first episode, right? And it was literally jumping out of a van, nailing these drug dealers, right? So I used to say, I want to come out here and hear cut instead of under arrest. Do the same thing I used to do, but I drove home, and I'm not trying to be too melodramatic, but I drove home from San Pedro that day in tears, saying, wow, I can't believe it, man. They just paid me, and nobody's going to pull me over on the way home. Nothing's going to happen. And it's so, you know what I mean? The irony of like, okay, maybe however this is meant to work out was working out.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, when I came out, I was straight out of Brooklyn, right off the streets, When I came out here, people would tell me, well, you got to get rid of your accent or you got to do this. And I was like, fuck no. I said, this is who I am. This is what makes me me. This is my unique thing, So I played that up. I played every street kid, every juvenile delinquent, but I was just doing the stuff that I was doing in the streets of Brooklyn. Exactly. But now I'm getting paid for it. Now I'm on a New York City street at 20th Century Fox Studios, with a lot, and it's like being in the neighborhood, but
right.
In Hollywood, it's make believe and it's playtime, and now I get paid to beat people up.
Imagine
people.
That. Yeah.
Shoot people, I'm shooting, killing, stabbing, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm getting paid to do that,
Yeah.
So it's
now if you get shot in a movie, they wipe it off with a towel. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the hospital. You just wipe it off to wipe the blood off with a towel. A lot easier.
So what's next? What do you got in the works? What do you want to do? Are you writing?
Yeah, it's like we have this little film that was, look at the doors just slammed 3 months ago. I'm a little superstitious of like, but because it's like when it starts to happen, you get, all the hurdles you get over, and then you're on set, you believe it, right? But it looks like I might do this other film that was kind of moving in the right direction. The financing was the most important here, and then the next thing you know, boom, the doors all slammed. So it's almost like, oh, okay, wow, really? I mean, this is a tough enough racket when it's moving full speed. Never mind when the whole thing shuts down. So it's like if you and I could say, hey, let's go outside and sledgehammer this wall down, and it's going to make some movement to it. I'm not afraid to work, but this is one of those things. There's only so much you can do to move something forward, especially in a situation like this. So, we'll see. I don't know. It's like, I didn't know an hour ago you and I would be kids. So it's like I'm kind of staying in the moment and just moving forward. I'm ready and willing. I'm in a best mental, spiritually, and physically fit. No, physically I got to get better in shape, but I mean I'm in a better mental place and spiritual, so I'm ready to go. So I hope it opens up.
Let's talk about that for a second. What do you do for your mental space, spiritually, physically? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm part of like a 12-step program in recovery of alcoholism. So it's like and alcoholics are not an easy breed. We're difficult to deal with when we're not treated. Because some people under the illusion that and this is only my opinion. I'm not an expert, but I've been around it for a long time. That some people, include myself, thought you put the drink down, the thing, and go get yours. And then the cash and the career and all that stuff came. And you know, if I'm not on a spiritual path of just trying to, none of it tastes good, none of it feels good. It just becomes this filler of the soul that doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
So then that thing happened with my son, and it kind of just knocked me off my feet and broke me down into a dark place to where, you know, it's like they'd say that, you know, the touchstone to a spiritual awakening is paved with pain, right? So I didn't go looking for a spiritual because I was bored. It's like, oh, okay, what do I, you know, I was desperate. So now I'm just like, you know, okay, I get it. I got to connect with, you know, it's not a religious thing. It's not this, that. I just got to connect with a higher power. And for me, you know, that's what I do. And it just keep that infantile ego, because the ego is not always, you know, oh, you're the shit. It can also come in and say, you're too old, you blew it, you'll never, you know, all these negative thoughts.
Sure.
And I do believe in manifestation. If you start to hang on to those negative thoughts, that will show up too. So I just try to do the science of like positive thinking and just, you know, and it's not always easy. You know, it's not always easy. I don't want to give this portrayal of like I'm skipping down the street smiling and hugging people. You know, it's like I stay in the moment and just moving forward. And today, right now, I'm in a good place and raring and ready to go, but I'm just staying in the moment. The lights are on, and play a little golf maybe, and maybe not. I don't know, you know. It's all good. I got the puppies in the room, and you know, the wife is well, you know, it's interesting, man. It's good though.
It's good, man. You sound like you're in
Yeah.
a good place. You know, it's so true. I mean, this is, you know, the mind is a dangerous place. You know, I like to say never go in alone. You know, take a friend, stay out of there. You know, and really your thoughts are very powerful. And it's what are you thinking? You know, change your story, change your life, change your thoughts, change your life. You know, so I
Yeah.
like to put a big ass bouncer at the gates of my mind. And when that little voice starts to come in and wants to tell me, you know, you're too old, blah, 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 the noise, that
Yeah.
I go, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna
That's
listen
right.
to the big me, the
Yeah.
spirit in me, that light within me, the power, the God within me. That, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, I truly believe that, you know, everybody was created a masterpiece, and there's nothing wrong with anybody. You know, it's just
Yeah,
these
man.
thoughts that we tell ourselves. So what if you started becoming your best friend instead of your worst enemy, and you treated yourself with kindness and gave yourself love, and started with gratitude, and look at all those beautiful things you're grateful for. You know, it's really hard to be in here and in fear and all that other noise if you're coming from
Yeah.
your heart and from gratitude and being in love. Like the light within me is just coming to say hello to the light within you. And, you know,
Wow,
coming
man.
from that energy instead of coming from, you know, fear, you know, or the noise. And you know, it's just noise. So it's really about checking that and getting out of here and getting into here, you know, into your heart and coming from there. You know, that for me, that's, you know, I've, you know, what we were talking about, the spiritual journey, you know, like, you know, what you've been going through with your son, you know, I mean, you know, like I was saying, 6 years ago, I went through a lot, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
cancer, people
Yeah. You
dying,
mentioned that. Yeah.
you know, my wife had a miscarriage, and, you know, just, you know, breast cancer, and just, yeah, it was like my beautiful life, my beautiful wife, everything that I've created, you know. I lost my 11-year-old niece to brain cancer that year, you know, father to prostate cancer, you know, it was just one thing after another. And in that crap,
Mm.
shit, you know, I planted seeds, these beautiful
Mm.
seeds about this Manhattan Actor Studio, and beautiful things grew out of it. You know, where I get to be of service. You know,
Yeah.
where I get to make a difference in other people's lives, and to
Yeah.
me, that's what life's all about. You know, for me, it was chasing. You
Yeah.
know, it was me, ego, me.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
now what I've truly found in the past 6 years, it's not about me. It's about how can I make a difference in somebody else's life? How can I be of
Oh,
service? You know, that, you know, I believe success is a spiritual game, and you want to come from love and really make a difference, and it's transformed my life. I mean, I've never, you know, I've battled depression, I've battled my
yeah.
demons my
Yeah.
whole life.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, I don't get depressed anymore. I don't, you know, there was times where I had a real hard time dealing with that.
Yeah. 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 I
But
remember we talked about that years ago.
you
I know.
know, shifting that, and just not coming, you know, coming from love and really gratitude, it shifted everything for me. And just really, like you
Yeah.
said, being in the moment, You know, that's what it's all about. You know, you can't be in the past. The past is gone. You know,
It's gone.
gone. You know, and the future
Yeah.
doesn't exist. So you know, be in the present and treat it like that, like a kid on Christmas Day with a present. You know, you got it. You
Yeah,
opened
man.
it up. You played with it. It was you were excited about it. Well, that's what today is.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
and being in the moment. And I think that's the thing with acting too, is truly just being in the moment. You
I
know,
tell you, the acting, it's true, but just to elaborate on what you just said, it's so important because, you know, there are people that would roll their eyes at that, me being one years ago, because it wouldn't have made no sense. And I hope they don't have to go through as much pain or resist as long as maybe you and I did until something traumatic had to happen, because we're not kids. But if they can just, you know, understand what you just said and embrace that, the road doesn't have to be as steep, you know, it could be. It was just beautiful what you just said, and I heard you too, because there was a time in my life that would have just been foreign language to me. Why that I don't get it,
listen,
and that's, you know,
if I would have heard myself,
right. That's what I mean. Yeah, I get it.
you know,
Yeah, man.
but I had to go through that. And you know what I truly feel like what we're going through right now with this whole COVID and stuff like that
Yeah,
is exactly the same shit. It's the shit, but this is a beautiful time to plant those seeds and really watch what you put in your mind and really envision all those beautiful things that you want to come in your life. You know,
yeah,
don't be in fear, be in faith and really start planting those beautiful seeds and then take care of them, give them sun, pull the weeds, you
yeah.
know, and all that stuff is going to grow and there's going to be some beautiful things, you know, that
Mm,
come out of this. So, you know, I tell my actors all the time is to really, this is a time to train, work on your craft. This is you free. It's a gift right now. You gotta have a time,
mm,
a little extra time. So really read scripts, you know, write, work on your self tapes because that's the future of casting. You know, really develop,
yeah,
you know, work on an accent, you know, whatever it may be, whatever you see yourself getting cast in, this is a time to work on that stuff. So when that audition pops up, it's like, okay, I know who that is. I worked on
yeah,
that. I know I got that accent. I've been playing with that. I've been having fun with it, you know?
yeah. It's so true, man. It's like you just said something that puts it like the short form, you know, to be in faith, not fear, you know, and logically that makes sense. Okay, yeah, simple. Not always simple, but we've found a way to find our way in. And I would just encourage anybody to really hear that. And then whatever it takes for them to find how to be in the faith instead of fear of just, it's going to make things a lot easier. I don't know what it would take for somebody. I can only speak for me. I have to do my little dance. You know, if I thought slamming my fingers in the window every morning would do it, I'd probably do that. But I have to do what I have to do to kind of keep the fear from boiling up and ruining the moments, you know, because nothing's happening most times when it's doing that. You know, it's just self-talking mind telling you negative shit, and I just have to go right back to faith and just say, it's all nonsense, you know.
So, you know, when my wife was going through all that stuff, you know, 6 years ago, she decided she wanted to become a yoga teacher, and she started doing her teacher training. And I was going through a really bad time. You know, I was melting down during. You know, the doctor's more concerned about me than her. You know, because I was suppressing all these feelings. You know, and I just seen people die and I was kind of losing my shit and she told me about meditation. You know, she said, you know, you should try this meditation thing. And I did. And, you know, it took a while to shut down the noise and to get into my heart, but I really found a beautiful thing with meditation. And you know, I studied it and I took my teacher training and I teach it to my actors because I think, you know,
Wow.
in order to be a good actor, you have to be relaxed. Your instrument has to be relaxed. And, you know, the only way I know how to relax is to get out of my head and kind of get grounded and
Yeah,
get into my heart. And it's really just a practice. You know, it takes a while sometimes, you know, to
yeah,
quiet the brain. But, you know, if you could practice, you know, on a daily basis, just take 10 minutes, just ground, put both feet on the ground, you know, have a tall spine and just find your breath and just breathing in and out and just becoming present because I truly feel that you know, all of the answers are right here in a, you know, within us. But we have to get out of our brain, our monkey brain, the
yeah,
chatter, to get into our heart. And the only way I've found to truly get into your heart is to just sit in silence and
yeah, man.
meditate and to breathe and just in stillness. And it's been transformational. I mean, it's been a game changer. I wish somebody would told the little Billy, you know, the kid,
Yeah,
on, hey, How about you take a few minutes and breathe? You know,
Yeah,
I
man.
was a go F yourself. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I got
That's
to,
why they didn't tell you. They might have knew you would have said that.
uh,
But here it is now, and it's make all thoughts create, man. So
but you know
we thank God for quiet thoughts.
I'm grateful. You know, I literally, you know, I used to think I was the victim. Poor me.
Yeah,
You know, my broken household, abusive, alcoholic
yeah,
parents. You know, like if there was a checklist of everything that could go bad to a child, I check all the boxes,
yeah,
right?
sure.
And my whole life was there was an angry young man walking around. You know, that's why I was getting into fights and doing stuff. You know, because I had all this anger,
Yeah,
and I wish somebody would have kind of told me that, you know, everything that happened
mm,
wasn't didn't happen to me. It happened for me. Like it made
yeah,
me
man.
who I am today. I had to go through all of that to
Yeah,
become the father that I am, the husband that I am, the teacher that I am. To
yeah,
all of that stuff had to happen. So I look at all of that stuff that was bad as what a
right.
gift now. Like what a
Yeah,
gift.
man.
And I'm really grateful for everything that happened to me because it made me who I am. And
Right.
you know, I'm pretty proud of the man I've become. You know, I didn't, you
Wow.
know, I'm a pretty awesome dad, and I'm a pretty awesome, you know, husband.
Ah, good for you,
Yeah.
man. It's
So, you
good to
know,
be able to say that proudly. Good
yeah,
for you, man.
listen, I love my wife more and more every day. I mean, we've been together for 23 years, and you know, every day I fall more and more in love with her. You know, I don't get all mushy here, but I feel like I'm the luckiest
No,
man on the
no, but
planet, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
But I get that, you know, everything, you know, and I want actors to know that everything that happens to you in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that shit, that's your gold as an actor, man. That's what you mind. That's what's in your actor toolbox. It's a gift. So when shit happens to you, go, wow, this is a gift. This guy just cut me off. I'm really angry right now. Remember that feeling. You may have to get
yeah,
angry in a scene and I could just go back to that event in the car, you know, where the guy flipped me off.
yeah,
So everything is a gift as an actor. So become aware of it, you know, and look at it and be present, you know, be a
yeah.
sponge.
I want to just touch on what you just said because, like, being a victim of a story, you know, especially when you know, it's fascinating because I think that's important. That time that you went through that, feeling like that as a victim of it, because I was also a victim of my story, and then I realized, just what you just said. It is just a story. But in order to get to that place, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate that it's just the things that happened for me, as you put it. You know, if I wasn't attached to that victim period that I wouldn't have been able to have that moment. It's just my story. It happened for me, like you said. I like the way you put it because I agree with it, number one. But I remember being in that, and some people that are stuck there, like we were, as a victim of it. You know, that's not a great place to be. You know, but if you're there now, I don't want to. You know, I don't want to be dismissive of it, saying, "Oh, what are you wasting time for?" Because until you break from that, you know, bless you, because it's not easy to be able to turn that corner and say, "Oh, it happened for me, not to me." You know, but I do reap the benefits of it just being my story now and not being a victim of it. But when we were there, Billy, I relate to it, you know, how it felt, you know, because there's some truth to it, you know. It's like, you know, there's some truth to, you know, being a victim of circumstance. But until we change looking at the same thing and change how we see it, there's no growth, right? We're stuck. So now, to the way you put it, happened for me. I like that, you know.
You know, that's what leads to the alcoholism or the drugs or the stuff because, you know,
Yeah,
it's numbing. It's trying to numb away the story.
yeah,
You know, like, oh, my fucked up childhood, you know.
yeah, man.
I got to drink a lot now, you know.
Yeah, there's some sedation. Then it turns on you. It doesn't work.
Listen, I'm so proud of you. You know, the being sober 25 years. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Oh
It's,
yeah, man.
it's
Thank you, man. It's a
you know,
gift. It gives me a shot. You know, it gives me a shot to just move forward and, you know, have the relationship I have with my kids right now, and it's just, you
and
know,
how's
gives
your
me.
kid doing? How's your kid doing now?
Both of them are great, man. You know, I was just kind of waiting for that call again for the shoe to drop, and one of them's 8 years sober, and the other one just turned 8 years sober. So it's all been going good. But as a parent, you know, they're like your voodoo dolls, right? You're hoping they don't skin their knee. Now you're hoping they make it home at night when they get older. It's like, but they're doing great. Since then, my oldest boy has 3 boys, and my youngest son has a beautiful granddaughter who hangs up on me on FaceTime every day. Papa, you call every day. Why? And I said, because I love you. And she's like, I got to go. I'm watching my show. Click. So it's like, you know, this kid was on a breathing machine 8 years ago for 6 days, you know, and behind them Oxycontin. You know, like most people, you know, you either are one or you love one, you know, alcoholism and addiction. It's, but everything's good, man. Today, right now, everything's okay.
I got to tell you, your story is such an inspirational journey to come from, you know, where you came from, to do 5 years in prison, to come out and decide, well, you know what, I'm going to try this acting thing and then pursue it. And then not only you were doing the acting thing, but then you decided, well, I'm going to write a film. You know, that's no easy task to write a film and produce it and get it direct a film and have A-list actors cast in it and make your own film. You wrote that ticket, you know? So, you know, that's, listen, I've been a producer. You know, I was in New York producing a film. And, you know, it's a hard work. It's like going to war, you know, making a film. You know, you're in the trenches, you know, it's a battle. You know, especially doing an independent film where you got 20 days to shoot it and you're under the gun. And, you know, I mean, I shot mine in New York where I had to deal with IATSE and all everybody Teamsters, you know, they were getting paid more than my principal actors, you know. So it's no easy task, but, you know, you did it and now you've done it again, you know, and I really can't wait to see what's next, you know, for you as a director and as an actor and as a writer. And, you know, I can't wait till this madness calms down because I'd love to sit down.
Let's catch up for sure.
You know,
man.
You know, we got to work together again, you know.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? All thoughts create. We can make that happen.
We'll make that happen, man. And I truly believe anything in my life that I've ever wanted to achieve, I had to plant the seed like I just did, you know, put it out there in the universe, believe in it, you know, see it, you know, like I can do this, you know. I mean, I tell the story, you know, all the time is, you know, when I was 16 and, you know, after I saw my friend get shot and I was kind of running around and I got in trouble and my mother had to come pick me up at a police station. And then I was released on you know, I had run away from home, you know, and now I had to go back to her house and I was sitting on a house in Brooklyn on the couch. And, you know, I was watching a TV show called The Fall Guy with Lee Majors. You know, it was about Hollywood and stuntman. And I'm sitting on that couch looking at that TV show going, I'm going to do that. You know, that was like behind the scenes, you know, I'm going to do that. And when I came out to Hollywood with that $200, my very first audition was for The Fall Guy.
Really?
And they were looking for the character's name was Billy.
All right.
I went in there, got that part, got my SAG card to my very first audition. Now I am on set with Lee Majors and Heather Thomas, and it's like I jumped into my television.
From your couch, from there, imagine that.
Like I literally climbed in, and here I am on the set. And, you know, it was a guest starring role, and the rest is history. You know, it started my career. But, you know, it's truly believe that you can do this. You know, put that in it, and you gotta go after it like you mean it, like with a vengeance, like you're hungry, you want this thing, you gotta want it more than everybody else.
Man.
You know, because it's not something you give 50%. You go all in. You know.
Yes, and, you drag your feet, it won't work.
Yeah, you know, and
I've dragged mine too. This, you know, it's not all just gun ho. I've gotten lazy and stagnant and discouraged, and we got to just keep trudging. You know, any of these young guys who are doing it, you know, I've always, you know, you get asked about, look at, there's more out here than just palm trees and sunshine. It's a grind, you know, it's like a bus pulling into Rose Bowl Stadium and everybody's trying to get on that bus. How are you going to get a seat? It's literally like that, you know, it's so you just got to be tenacious and just keep marching, and, you know, it's all going to happen because, you know, whether it's supposed to or not, it's all going to work out the way it's not. Like, you know, I'm so inspired by you now, encouraging, help, because this is kind of like a soul journey to what can I get next for work, to employment, but to be teaching kids and teaching other actors and encouraging this dream. It just moves me, Billy. I tell you, and I'm not just trying to say the nice, right thing. It's just, I'm proud of you, man. It's
Thank you,
to do something for others is what really makes you feel good. Not all the money in the world doesn't fill the hole. I've never been wealthy, but I've had enough to know that it doesn't fill. So to do something for somebody else when it's not easy to do is really where it's at, and it's kind of cool to see what you're doing, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. You got to be careful what you wish for, because,
Yeah.
you'll get, sometimes you get it and you go, is this it? I mean, I know for me, I was like, is this it? And I've been
Yeah.
blessed. I mean, I've had my own
Yeah.
series. I've been in, Academy Award
Yeah.
winning. I've been blessed. And when I was in New York producing a film and I had the loft and the money and all this stuff, and I looked around in this big ass loft and I was like, is this it? And I truly believe, I got that dream, and I truly believe I was putting my ladder against the wrong wall, because that ladder would never make me fulfill me. I got it, but it wasn't fulfilling. Now that I put my ladder on this wall, every time my actors call me up and go, "Hey, I booked that part. I got that thing. I got my SAG card." To me, that's so much more rewarding than when I was running around and I book a little guest star on a TV show. It's been life changing for me, and that's why I created this podcast, because I've been blessed here in the Manhattan Beach bubble for the past 6 years, but I'm here in my brick and mortar studio. I can only touch so many lives here. That's why the podcast is there, so I can touch as many lives as possible, so I can get this globally, and I can have amazing guests like you on board to share your inspirational story and maybe motivate, even if it's one person and hears your story and is motivated maybe to, put down the drink, or, really go after their dreams, or, whatever it may be, that you inspire them to make a difference in their lives. I think that's what it's all about. So I'm so grateful to you for coming on. I know it was last minute and I said, hey, come
Oh,
on.
perfect, man. I appreciate you, man. It gives me an opportunity. Like you said, if one person, that'd be terrific. But catch up on your podcast and what you're doing, man. It's just an honor. And I appreciate you having me. I really do.
Once this madness, once the school opens up again, I would love to have you come down and be like a guest teacher, direct some actors.
I'd like to sit there and watch or do a scene, whatever I could do, man. They're the guests. I'd just be honored to get out there and just see you doing your thing and trying to learn. You say when, I'm there.
All right, I'm going to take you up on that. Once all this calms down, I'm going to have you here at the studio.
As easy as today happened, that will happen. We'll get together because it'd be great to catch up anyway, man.
Love you, brother, man. I can't, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, jumping on, doing this. You look great. You sound great. You sound like you're in a great space. I'm proud of you, man. You did it. You made that a reality. You made the dream a reality. You're a very talented actor, writer, producer, director. You've done it, man. You made that dream happen. So, you're such an inspiration to me and to other actors out there that they can do this. I mean, you did it. How old were you when you got out, when you came to Hollywood?
Shit, I was probably when I got here, 37.
37. So now 37, you get into the game. 37 years old. I get actors like, oh, I'm 18. I feel like I'm getting into the game too late or whatever. I'm like, come on. You got into the game at 37 and you've had a brilliant career. You've worked with A-list. Who are some of your favorite directors you've worked with?
Oh, I had some good times, man. I mean, we did the movie with Robert Redford. We had this military prison movie. We spent 3 months in Nashville called Last Castle with Rod Lurie.
Yeah.
He got to do a little piece in Munich with Steven Spielberg. He was like a little kid with a camera, it was such, because you think, oh, director and all that stuff. And he was just fun to watch him do his thing, and a couple pieces I did on his films. And Ted Demme was a beautiful guy. God bless. He did Blow and Monument Ave, the second film I was in, and Life with Eddie Murphy. He was just a great spirit. He passed too young, but I mean, every one of them I learned from. It's just really, really, it's just beautiful just to be able to just know, looking back, because more happened for me out here than I ever would have expected. So if I went home right now and started digging ditches again, I'm still grateful that it's like you said,
You made the dream a reality.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Check. Done.
That box is checked.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, brother. I love you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Once this passes, I'm going to see you soon. All right?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
It's my honor, brother. Be good. Take care.
You too. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Please rate, review, share this with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't. Please take whatever you get from here, the golden nuggets, and apply them to your career. Go after your dreams with passion. Don't let anybody tell you it can't be done. I believe in you. Follow your dreams. I'll see you in Hollywood.